This video is directed to those who watched only the Tokyo Ghoul anime and haven't read the manga. We will be going over the end of the Tokyo Ghoul manga to see why Kaneki is now a part of the CCG. Obviously this will include spoilers, but only those contained in the original manga. We begin with the scene where Tsukuyama is begging Kaneki not to attempt to save the manager. Kaneki responds in the way you'd expect and ventures off to intervene in the CCG's operation on Anteku. Kaneki, like in the anime, goes and saves both the black dog Irimi and devil ape Koma. He continues down the path where he runs into Amon. In typical Kaneki fashion, he does not want to fight Amon, but after realizing he must defeat him in order to pass, Kaneki agrees. The two exchange blows and Kaneki gets the better of Amon initially. This is when Amon equips a full-body armor Quinke and the two continue to exchange blows. They charge at each other to finish the standoff, and the result of this leads to Amon losing his arm and Kaneki getting stabbed by the Bin brothers' Quinke, which hinders his regeneration, leaving him with major injuries. Kaneki crawls away badly injured, still fixated on rescuing Mr. Yoshimura. He sees a manhole and realizes going through the sewers would be the better option in his current condition. Kaneki starts to have visions of Rize and Yamori, who appear to be trying to take over his body. In his struggle he realizes he was the one being devoured and not the ghouls he was feeding on. As this is going on, Hide appears and walks up to Kaneki. Kaneki panics as he realizes he is in his Kakuja form and can no longer hide the fact that he is a ghoul. Hide reveals he was already aware that he is a ghoul. Kaneki then tells Hide to run because he is afraid he may attack him. Hide ignores his advice and says he wants to help. Hide also asks if he can fight one more time, as he knows what awaits Kaneki ahead. The next scene is Kaneki regaining his consciousness and realizes that Hide is gone. He has the taste of blood in his mouth and his injuries are healed. This is the last we hear about Hide in the original manga. Kaneki continues on until he arrives at Route V14, where he finds utter despair awaiting him, the death god Kisho Arima, who is surrounded by corpses. Kaneki mounts an attack believing Irima to be wide open, but is instead punctured by Rima's weapon. Stunned, he stands up and attempts to regain his composure. But once again, before he can, he is stabbed. Just this time Kisho's Quenke runs through Kaneki's head. Kaneki screams out in pain as he can feel the lance going through his brain. Kisho watches emotionless as Kaneki struggles to speak. Kaneki pulls out the piece that is still lodged in his brain and lashes out. But none of his attacks can connect as Arima calmly dodges each strike. Kaneki begins to go into a sort of trance, reciting a verse from the poem The Song of the Ancient Ainu. Arima announces, "We're in V14. No ghoul can pass through here. You can't go any further than V14," and shoots lightning at Kaneki. Kaneki knows he can kill Arima if he can just get in one good attack, since he is human. But Arima blocks this once again. Arima, noticing Kaneki has cracked his Quinke's defensive barrier, says, "You're good, Kaneki-ken," with a smile on his face before stabbing him once again. As Kaneki lays on the ground, Arima walks up and thrusts his blade through Kaneki's head once more. Once again Kaneki enters a trance-like state where he sees his mother and himself when he was human. He remembers Toka's words and realizes he was only just thinking of himself the whole time and just didn't want to be alone. He apologizes to his human self before the two say, "Let's rest a bit." Before Kaneki loses consciousness, he remembers his encounter with Rize that turned him into a ghoul and sees a man wearing a clown mask on top of the building where the steel bars fell onto the two. This is of course a ghoul who is a part of the clowns, something that is mentioned in both the anime and manga. But at this point we still have little information on the group. we will find out a lot more about the group in Tokyo Ghoul Re. The end of the manga is a cryptic conversation between Narima and CCG officials. A picture of Kaneki is upon the table with the word erased. They talk about ownership and naming rights. This is in reference to Haise Sasaki. Kaneki, after being stabbed through his head, has lost all memory of his former self and is now working at the CCG as Haise. I'm not sure why the CCG as a whole chose to keep him alive and train Haise as a member instead of executing him or letting him spend his days in Koklia. But we do get to see Arima's motivation in the next series. I won't go into that in this video as it contains major spoilers in the next series. But the Tokyo Ghoul Re manga is coming to a close, so if interested you should check it out. This is why Kaneki is now a part of the CCG. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video please subscribe. If anyone is interested in a more in-depth version of this video or any other Tokyo Ghoul content, please leave a like.